English with EduWorld.
Learn English. Connect with world.
Hey everyone, welcome back to English with EduWorld. I'm Anna, and I'm really happy you're here with us today because we're talking about something that can completely change the way you sound when you speak English. We're diving into the real secret behind natural pronunciation and speak naturally.
And I'm Kenny. If your goal is to sound clear, smooth, and confident when you speak English, not perfect, just natural, then you're in the right place. Make sure to subscribe and stay with us because today we're giving you something you can use immediately in real life.
Kenny, can I ask you something before we start? When was the last time you were outside and actually felt present? Not scrolling, not rushing, not thinking about what's next, just there. Because I've been noticing something lately. We live inside a lot. Inside buildings, inside our phones, inside our own heads, and sometimes inside our emotions too. We tell ourselves we're fine, we say we're busy, we say we're just tired.
I didn't realize how tired I was until I stepped outside yesterday, and the air hit me. Not physically tired, I mean mentally saturated, cognitively overloaded.
Okay, pause. Cognitively overloaded? Kenny, that's not how we really speak in real life. That's not everyday English.
I know. When I try to explain how I feel, I default to academic language. It sounds safer.
Safer, yeah, but not real. If you want conversational English, if you want spoken English that sounds like American English, you have to say it the way people actually talk. So instead of cognitively overloaded, you could just say, my brain was fried.
My brain was fried. Yeah, that actually feels more honest.
Because it's speaking from feeling, and that's what this episode is about. Outdoor activities, yes, but more than that, it's about what happens when you step outside and stop talking like a textbook and start talking like a real person.
Yesterday I went for a walk. Just a walk. No podcast, no music, no phone in my hand, and it was quiet enough that I could hear my own thoughts. That scared me a little.
That's the part nobody talks about. We stay indoors because it's comfortable, controlled, predictable. But outside, you feel things. You remember things. You can't hide behind polished sentences.
I actually ran into someone from years ago, and when he asked, "How have you been?" I froze. I almost said, "I have been adequately managing recent responsibilities."
Oh no.
Yeah, I was about to sound like a research paper.
And what did you say instead?
I've been figuring things out.
That's real-life English. That's casual English. That's how we really speak. This is English with EduWorld, where we practice talking like real people, not perfect robots. Learn English, connect with world. If you've ever felt embarrassed because your English sounded too formal, too stiff, too distant, stay with us. Subscribe and walk this journey with us. Because what happened after that conversation outside, that's where the real shift began. And it wasn't comfortable.
After that walk, I kept thinking about something. It's not just that we stay inside physically. It's like we shrink emotionally.
Yeah, we do. And we don't even notice it happening.
Last month, I turned down a hiking invite. I said I had prior professional obligations.
Kenny, no one says that in real-life English. Just say, I had work. That's how it flows in everyday English. But here's the deeper part. You didn't go because of work, right?
Not exactly. I was tired, socially fatigued.
You mean you were burned out. Say it like that. That's American English. That's the way people actually talk.
Yeah, I was burned out. And honestly, I didn't want anyone asking how I was doing because I didn't have a simple answer.
That's it. When we stay indoors too long, we start living in our heads. We overthink, we rehearse conversations, we polish sentences, but we don't feel them. I've seen this so many times. Someone says, "I'm just busy," but what they mean is, "I'm overwhelmed." Someone says, "I'm fine," but inside, they're barely keeping their head above water. And when you don't step outside, into sunlight, into movement, into unpredictable moments, your world gets small. You start playing it safe. You stop trying new things. You tell yourself, maybe next time.
That's exactly how it felt, like my life was on pause.
Because comfort can quietly hold you back. Not dramatically, not loudly, just enough that months pass and you realize nothing changed. And here's the hard truth. When your life gets smaller, your English does too. Your spoken English becomes careful, controlled, not conversational, not alive.
So the problem isn't grammar.
No, it's fear and avoidance. But what happens when one small decision breaks that pattern? That's where everything starts to shift.
So you're saying it's not about being busy, it's about hiding.
Sometimes, yeah. Think about it. In the US, people spend hours outside every week. Teenagers play basketball at the park for 3-4 hours on a Saturday. Older adults go hiking, cycling, gardening. It's normal here. It's part of American culture. But when you stay inside all week and say, "I prefer indoor environments for optimized productivity,"
That sounds reasonable.
it sounds academic. That's not how we really speak in real life. Just say, "I've been stuck inside all week." That's everyday English. That's the way it flows.
I guess I've been stuck inside, and the longer I stay in, the harder it feels to go out.
Exactly. Because when you isolate too long, your mind starts telling stories. You're too tired, you'll look awkward, you're out of shape. Before you know it, you're stuck in your own head. I've heard so many people say, "I'll go next time." But next time never comes. They slowly fall into a rut. They stop trying new trails, new hobbies, new conversations. And here's the part that hurts. It doesn't explode all at once. It's quiet, subtle. You wake up one day and realize you've been playing small.
That hits because when my friend invited me biking, I immediately thought, I'm not that type of person.
See? That's identity. That's deeper than schedule. You start believing you're not outdoorsy, not social, not athletic. And that belief shapes your language too. Your spoken English becomes cautious. You stop talking like a real person. So before we even talk about changing anything, let me ask you, when was the last time you said no, not because you were busy, but because you were afraid?
When you said it's about identity, that stayed with me because I really do tell myself I'm not outdoorsy. It sounds definitive, almost scientific.
It sounds final. That's the problem. And in American English, we don't usually define ourselves that rigidly. We say things like, "I haven't been out much lately," or "I've just been in a weird phase." It leaves space to change.
So when I say I am not inclined toward outdoor recreational engagement,
Kenny, no one talks like that at a park. That's not how we really speak in real life. Just say, "I haven't felt like going out." That's casual English. That's the way it comes out naturally.
it feels vulnerable.
Exactly, and that's why it works. Real-life English is emotional. When someone says, "I've been in a funk," or "I've just been off lately," it's honest. It invites connection.
So maybe I wasn't avoiding hiking, maybe I was avoiding being seen.
That's powerful. And here's the reframe. Outdoor activities aren't about being athletic or adventurous. They're about expanding your emotional space. When you step outside, your language softens. Your spoken English becomes less rehearsed, more human.
So the way we speak reflects the way we live.
Always. And once you see that, you start realizing small shifts can change everything. Because if identity can shrink quietly, maybe it can expand the same way.
So, if identity can expand, how? Because when I tried jogging last weekend, I kept narrating it in my head like a documentary. I am currently engaging in cardiovascular endurance training.
That's exactly the problem. You were exercising your body, but your language was still stuck in a classroom. No one thinks like that while jogging. In American English, you'd say, "Man, I'm out of shape," or "This is kicking my butt." That's human English. That's emotional language.
It feels less intelligent.
It feels more alive. There's a difference. When you describe your experience in warm, human sentences, your spoken English starts sounding natural. So here's the shift. Don't just do the activity. Talk through it like a real person.
Okay, so instead of formal commentary, I say what I actually feel.
Exactly. When you're hiking and your legs hurt, say, "Why did I think this was a good idea?" When you reach the top, say, "Okay, this was worth it." That's conversational English. You're training your emotional voice, not just vocabulary.
I tried biking once with friends. They were laughing, talking, yelling back and forth. I stayed quiet because I couldn't find perfect sentences.
That silence is what holds learners back. You wait for perfection, but native speakers interrupt themselves, change mid-sentence, laugh at their own mistakes. That's how it flows. If you're biking and almost fall, just say, "Whoa, that was close." Short, real, reactive.
So physical activities help loosen language because you stop overthinking.
Yes, your body moves, so your mind moves. And that's why certain outdoor activities are powerful for mental health too. Walking alone clears mental noise. Gardening slows your breathing. Playing basketball forces quick reactions. Each one trains a different part of you.
I used to think hiking was about endurance optimization.
Stop. Just say, "It clears my head." That's what people actually say.
It clears my head. Yeah, that feels lighter.
Because it connects to feeling. And here's the practical part for learners. Choose one simple outdoor activity this week, walking, stretching in the park, shooting hoops, and narrate it out loud in simple American English. Not academic, not polished, just honest. If you're tired, say, "I'm exhausted." If you're proud, say, "I did it." If you're embarrassed, say, "That was awkward." When Kenny says, "I am experiencing muscular fatigue," he creates distance. But when he says, "My legs are dead," people relate.
So my failure wasn't vocabulary, it was fear of sounding simple.
Exactly. Many learners hide behind complex words because simple feels exposed. But simple is powerful. Simple is what builds fluency.
And maybe that's why I avoided group hikes. I didn't want to sound basic.
But sounding human is not basic. It's connection. When someone says, "I'm struggling," instead of, "I am encountering difficulties," people lean in. So Module 1 is this. Move your body and let your language move with it. Don't perform, don't lecture, just react. Let outdoor experiences teach your mouth how to speak naturally. Because the goal isn't impressive English. It's real English that feels like you.
What I keep noticing is that younger generations demonstrate a measurable decline in outdoor participation compared to prior cohorts.
Okay, pause. That sounds like a research paper again. Just say, "We don't go outside as much as our parents did." That's day-to-day English. That's how it comes out naturally.
We don't go outside as much as our parents did. Yeah, that feels more honest.
Because it is. My dad tells stories about riding his bike for hours, not texting, not checking anything, just disappearing until dinner. And when he talks about it, he doesn't analyze it. He says, "We were always out. We didn't want to be inside." That's spoken English. It sounds like a memory.
When my grandmother talks about her childhood, she describes prolonged outdoor socialization rituals.
Kenny, she probably just says, "We played outside all day." That's conversational English. That's street English. Warm, simple, real.
So maybe the issue isn't technology itself, but psychological dependency on controlled environments.
Or we got used to comfort. That's it. We like climate control. We like predictable entertainment. Going outside feels uncertain. And when something feels uncertain, learners freeze, not just physically, but verbally. You've done that before. Remember when your coworker invited you to a weekend barbecue?
I said, I will evaluate my availability.
Exactly. No one says that. Just say, let me see. That's American English. That's how it flows.
I was buying time.
You were avoiding vulnerability because when you go outside with people, you can't script the conversation. You can't rehearse every sentence. And that scares learners who are used to textbook safety.
So younger people might not just be avoiding the outdoors, they're avoiding unscripted interaction.
Yes, and that's why their spoken English feels tight, controlled. They're not letting their thoughts wander. They're not speaking like they're telling a memory. They're editing themselves in real time. Think about a group of teenagers today. They might hang out, but half the time they're on their phones. Compare that to your parents' stories, running, arguing, laughing, making up games. That chaos trained their conversational English. It made them quick, emotional, expressive.
When I try to tell a story, I focus on accuracy.
But in real life, people focus on connection. If you're talking about your childhood, don't say, during my adolescence, I frequently engaged in outdoor recreational activities. Just say, I was always outside. I hated being stuck at home. That's sounding like yourself.
So the solution isn't forcing outdoor time, it's changing how we talk about it.
Yes. Here's something practical. The next time you hear your parents or grandparents tell a story about being outside, don't translate it into academic language in your head. Repeat it in simple words. Practice retelling it like you're talking to a friend. And if you go outside, even just to sit on a bench, talk out loud for 2 minutes. No script, no perfect grammar. Let your thoughts wander. That's how conversational English grows.
So we rebuild what older generations had, not by copying their lifestyle exactly, but by copying their honesty.
Exactly. Because outdoor life wasn't just about fresh air. It was about unfiltered language. And if you want fluent American English, you have to be willing to sound a little messy, a little imperfect, a little real. That's where confidence actually begins.
So, if outdoor activities change the way we speak, do they actually influence long-term professional development outcomes as well?
You mean, do sports help you succeed later in life?
Yes, that.
Why do you always make it sound like a conference presentation?
Because I'm trying to sound competent.
You already are, but competence in American English doesn't sound robotic. It sounds grounded. Let's talk about your friend Mark. He used to play football in high school, right?
Yes, he demonstrated consistent athletic discipline and collaborative team dynamics.
Or he showed up every day and learned how to work with people.
That's simpler.
And more powerful. Mark told you once, "Football taught me how to lose without quitting." That sentence? That's leadership language. Not polished, not perfect, just real.
I remember that. He said when he presents at work, he doesn't panic anymore. He treats it like game day.
Exactly. Sports train emotional control. Karate teaches focus. Badminton teaches fast reactions. Hiking builds endurance. The gym builds discipline. But when learners describe these things, they hide behind theory. Remember when you tried explaining why gym training helps confidence?
I said it enhances physiological resilience and structured habit formation.
And everyone blinked.
Yes, they looked confused.
Because in real life, you just say, "It made me stronger. I stopped giving up so easily." That's speaking from feeling. That's talking like a real person.
So the success part isn't about muscles, it's about mindset.
Yes, and mindset shows in your spoken English. When someone has played sports, they don't over-explain. They say things like, "I messed up, but I'll fix it." That's broken, but natural. Rough around the edges, half sentences. Unfinished thoughts. Messy, but real.
Imperfect, but alive.
Exactly. Think about a young woman who practiced karate for years. She walks into a job interview. She's nervous, sure, but she's used to pressure. When she speaks, she might say, "I was scared at first, but I kept going." That sentence carries weight because it's lived. Or a guy who hikes every weekend. At work, when projects get hard, he doesn't say, "This task presents logistical adversity." He says, "It's tough, but we'll get there." That's American English. Direct, steady.
So outdoor sports give you emotional references, stories you can speak from.
Yes, and here's the practical part for learners. When you practice a sport, even casually, don't just train your body. Afterward, describe the experience out loud, in simple language. Not, "The session yielded substantial cardiovascular stimulation." Say, "That was intense. I didn't think I could finish." Not polished, not perfect, just real.
And that kind of language translates into job interviews, meetings, conversations.
Because confidence isn't fancy vocabulary, it's clarity. It's saying, "I tried, I failed, I tried again." Sports teach you that rhythm.
I used to think fluency meant flawless grammar.
No, fluency is emotional flow. It's letting your sentences breathe. It's allowing pauses. It's not being afraid of sounding human. So Module 3 is this. Choose an outdoor sport not just to stay fit, but to build stories, build emotional memory. Then speak about those memories in American English the way you'd tell a friend. Broken, but natural. Not perfect, just alive.
So what happens if someone understands all this, but still stays inside, still speaks the academic way?
Then nothing changes, and that's the quiet danger. You keep saying things like, "I am currently managing multiple responsibilities," instead of, "I'm overwhelmed." You keep sounding distant, and people feel that distance. I've seen it. Smart learners, strong grammar, but in real conversations, their words don't land because they don't practice daily. They don't let their spoken English breathe for even 30 minutes a day. So when a real moment comes, a job interview, a group hike, a team meeting, they freeze.
Because they've never trained under pressure.
Exactly. If you don't practice American English out loud every day, even just 30 minutes, your language stays theoretical. And theory doesn't comfort anyone. It doesn't inspire anyone. It doesn't connect. The drawback isn't just slow progress, it's isolation. You start believing you're bad at speaking. You avoid invitations. You overthink texts. You miss chances.
It's strange. This whole journey started with a simple walk outside, and now it feels bigger than that.
Because it was never just about the walk. It was about your voice, your confidence, your willingness to be seen. If you don't step outside, your body gets weaker. If you don't practice spoken English every day, your voice gets weaker too. And not just your pronunciation, your courage. You hesitate more, you say less, you slowly disappear in conversations. But here's the beautiful part. 30 minutes a day can change that. Not 30 minutes of perfection, 30 minutes of conversational English, day-to-day English, real sentences while you're cooking, driving, making coffee, folding laundry, walking through the grocery store. Say short things. "I'm tired today." "This smells good." "I don't feel like it, but I'll try." Then stretch them into longer thoughts. Let your American English grow naturally. Let it sound human. In 3 to 6 months, you'll feel the shift. Words will come faster. Fear will feel smaller. And after a year, you won't...
So it was never really about being outdoorsy, was it?
No, it was about not hiding. Not hiding inside your house and not hiding behind complicated language. We learned that fluency isn't about sounding impressive. It's about sounding honest. When you move your body, when you let yourself speak in simple, emotional American English, something shifts. Your words stop feeling heavy. Your thoughts stop feeling trapped. 30 minutes a day, that's it. While you're cooking dinner, walking to the store, sitting with coffee, ironing your clothes, just speak. Short sentences, then longer ones.
Let them grow naturally. Not perfect, just real. In a few months, you'll notice you hesitate less. In a year, you'll sound like yourself, confident, clear, comfortable in spoken English.
So the real lesson is step outside and let your voice step outside too.
Exactly. Learn English. Connect with world. Before we go, we'd love to hear from you. What outdoor activity, even something small, helps you feel more alive? Drop your answer in the comments so we can learn from each other. And if this conversation spoke to you, subscribe and stay with us for the next episode. See you soon. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.